My 100th achievement, the Wrath of the Gods. Yeah, that sounds about right. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Today we have 3 goals: getting Venti, getting the teapot, and then getting to Inazuma. Despite being the first Archon we meet, and the first Archon to be playable, Venti is the last one we need on this account to have all 6 currently available Archons. His banner is the second half of 5.5, so we have this time to prepare for him. If at all possible, I'd prefer to not put more money into this account, because it has already been way more than I would have liked to spend. So I'm going to see how many wishes I can get before his banner. Obviously, you're watching this video after his banner is live, so this video will include the polls, for better or worse. Before we get into the Mondstadt grind, we have to travel back in time to 5.4 with the commercial event. I think this event is honestly adorable, and it was very entertaining to do as someone who edits videos. I did the first run on my main account prior to recording this, but I waited until all parts were unlocked to film it on this account. What's that? I didn't see this on my main account. Well, let's complete it real quick. Alright, and we put that there, and this goes here, and done. Alright, now let's see what it's about. Today's video is sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. Experience Japan from the comfort of your home with Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. with new, exclusive, and delicious snacks delivered right to your door every month. With Tokyo Treat, each month brings specialty flavored Japanese chips, occasional sodas, and exclusive seasonal themed treats. For the month of May, Tokyo Treat takes you on a journey through the animal kingdom with Japan Snackfari. We've got our little animal friends here for the taste test. Well, and Miku, of course. But we also have some surprise guests, too. I am very much a fan of all things related to toe beans, so I nearly shed tears when I opened the box and saw the grape gummy paws and the peach paw candies. Also included in this month's box is our iconic specialty Kit Kat flavor, salted caramel. Sometimes salted caramel flavored items can either be too sweet or too salty, and it tends to be hard to find a balance. However, these Kit Kats accomplished the near impossible and found that perfect balance. You get a bit of caramel, a bit of the salty, and the chocolate all in one. Another personal favorite in this box for me is the chocolate panda cake. If you're American and know of yodels, it's very similar to that, but without the overwhelming sweetness commonly found in American sweets. It's for the best this only came as a single one, because I absolutely would have devoured a box of these. So, story of my life, I dropped the melon panda cookie right before opening it. No. And as a result, well, it's okay. It's still cute, and the taste is what matters. Also included is allergen information, so those with food allergies or sensitivities can enjoy worry-free. Sakura Co, on the other hand, prioritizes a focus on supporting and preserving Japanese culture with authentic artisan treats made by local snack makers, with each month bringing a new box filled with traditional snacks, specialty Japanese teas, and a piece of beautiful Japanese tableware to bring a bit of tradition to your home. Sakura Co's May box focuses on the historic Osaka prefecture, with the theme Savoring Osaka. While enjoying your snacks, read all about the historical sites of Osaka, the history of the samurai, and more with the cultural guide booklet. This month's box included snacks like these strawberry cakes. The cake was super soft and fluffy, while the strawberry filling was a perfect balance of tart and sweet. One of my favorite aspects of Sakura Co is being able to learn about the snack makers within Japan who create the treats in each box. This month's box highlighted 2 different snack makers, one with a treat that I was so eager to try that I opened it before even showing it to the camera. So professional, I know. Being able to read about the trials and tribulations of these small businesses in Japan while you enjoy their craft is such an incredible experience, especially learning about the history and nostalgia behind some of the flavors. Probably my favorite snack of this month's box was the strawberry cream cookie. The cookie was buttery and soft with just the right amount of crunch to it, and the cream filling was so smooth and rich. Also included is these egg koban senbei, which I absolutely placed upside down without realizing. The shape and design is meant to represent gold coins used during the Edo period in Japan, and the subtle flavors pair perfectly with this month's specialty tea. Fukamushi sencha is a type of green tea from the Makinohara region that is deep steamed to preserve the flavor and color, resulting in a beautiful jade green color and delicious taste. I love all things green tea, and I cannot express how much I loved this tea. Oh, you're wondering what the cloth is that they're sitting on? This is a beautiful tenagui. They're super versatile cotton towels made by using traditional dyeing techniques and are a specialty of Sakai City, Osaka. Whether you use it as a hand towel, a wrapping cloth for a bento box, or even just a piece of home decor, it's a perfect addition to any household. If you want to take a trip to the Snackfari or Osaka, from the comfort of your home of course, with either the Tokyo Treat or the Sakura Co box, you can follow the link in the description and use the code REN to get $5 off your first order. Make sure you order by May 15th to guarantee getting your hands on this box. If you order either box, be sure to leave me a comment and let me know what snack is your favorite. However, if you're more into cute anime trinkets or beauty products, my code also works with Yume Twins, which has anime and otaku goodies, or No Make No Life, which contains Korean and Japanese cosmetics and skincare. Thank you so much to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back to the challenge. So, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is I definitely think it's possible to complete Genshin Impact while only using the Archons. The bad news news is that it will absolutely only be possible with the Tsaritsa. So what are the few problems that we might have? The first is the Imaginarium Theater, which I think I mispronounced the entire time in the last video. While I was fine with ignoring it, I was reminded it does have achievements attached to it. My workaround idea for this is in a select few circumstances I could probably complete it. The circumstances without the Tsaritsa would include the elements not having cryo, and that an Archon is among the special guest stars. I can just build up enough characters to satisfy the minimum count, and then only use Archons during the battles, and hope I get lucky with those cards. Is that what they're called? Cards? Hard level is 8 battles, so if I have 4 Archons, 3 matching elements, and 1 support cast, I can use each Archon twice. Is that kind of insane? Absolutely. But it is possible, so that's what counts. As for Visionary mode, well, there's a card that lets you refresh a character, so I would just need to keep rewinding until I got it, essentially. Regardless, I've got quite a bit before that, so we can cross that bridge when we get there. The second problem is the teapot, in particular, A Realm Beyond Series 3. To complete the achievements for this, it requires at least 7,000 real-world hours, or 291 days. Unfortunately, I can't even get the teapot until I get Venti, since I need him to finish Liyue Act 3. Trust me, I tried with Zhongli and Moika. By the time I can complete the achievement, there's a good chance the Tsaritsa will be playable, which is good, because the most glaring problem I realized, that even the comments didn't notice, is Dragonspine. In order to complete Dragonspine and the relevant achievements, you need to break the 3 crystals. The first 2 are fine, but the third one, well, it requires cryo. Unfortunately, and I looked, there are no cryo enemies nearby that could swirl with Venti to activate the monuments. So what does this all mean? Well, for one thing, it will certainly be a long-term challenge. That said, there is so much to do in this game to truly complete it, like catching 2,000 fish, or all the TCG achievements, or the R&R quest, and new achievements get added with nearly every patch. I'd also like to completely fill the materials archive, so I have to collect at least 1 of everything. Honestly, if I can finish this challenge before the Genshin Impact servers permanently close, well, I'd be satisfied. Okay, I know I said I was going to show farming and events, and I will, but the recent events haven't really been something worth filming. The long event in Natlan was a mini maze game, and the fighting section all but required using the trial characters, which weren't Archons, and then the unlimited battle event, well, I tried. So instead, we're going to pull for Venti, and depending on how it goes, start and finish the Liyue Archon quest so I can get the teapot, fishing, and most importantly, get the Inazuma so I can level up poor Raiden. Sorry to a certain content creator who watches any and all Raiden content, there won't be much Raiden in this video. We have 77 wishes and a 50-50, and I'm desperate, so I wrote a community post asking for some of you guys to share your wishing rituals. Up first is sitting on the Barbados statue head, not his hands. I don't know how, but I accidentally managed to trigger Farina's burst, so then I figured, okay, I'll just do everyone's bursts. Why not? Yeah, that didn't help. Second ritual, stand under the tree in Windrise and feed an apple to everyone in your team. There was also a few that suggested feeding 100 apples, but I only have 10, so I guess I gotta make it count. I also decided to go stand around where we find him in Act 2 and hope that helped. You know, I wouldn't mind a 4-star weapon if it was a claymore that could be more useful to Moika than the sacrificial greatsword. Unfortunately, we get another catalyst. Okay, the next ritual is to make an offering to the Statue of the Seven in Mondstadt. I don't think I have any animoculi to offer. That's awkward.
A few moments later.
Update, I got a compass. I went far away from the city so it wouldn't trigger the one I can't reach without an Animo character, and now we hope this is one I can reach. Wait, why here? Okay, I swear I got this one already. I even marked it on my interactive map. I guess that's why the count was off. Oops. Regardless, we have our animoculi to offer, so back to Windrise we go. Honestly, I forgot how anticlimactic it is to offer when it doesn't increase the level. Well, anyways, time to wish. Okay, so far, 30 wishes in, and we've gotten Yanfei, a sacrificial fragments, and a Beidou. I am still holding out hope that we don't need to spend all the wishes, but we shall see. Next ritual, talk to Charles at the tavern and wish. Easy enough. Oh my god, I never started the Dark Knight hero. Alright, well after all that dialogue, I apparently have someone who's involved in other quests preventing me from officially starting the Dark Knight hero, so that kind of felt like a waste. Well, let's wish regardless. Well, we got a drinker, just not the one we were looking for. Next, go to the top of Stormterra's lair. They didn't specify which top, so let's just climb all the way. Plus, there is an achievement. So, okay, now where is the city to have in the background? Wait, will I even see it? Oh, there it is. Alright, we've got Mondstadt in the background, so let's do our wish. Well, we finally got an Animo character, and our first double 4-star, so I guess that's something. Unfortunately, I only have 21 wishes left, and a 50-50 still. I don't like where this is going. Next is buy the lyre and play the intro song. Oh dear. I don't remember which of these he was actually sitting on in his trailer, and I don't care enough to track it down, so I'm just gonna assume it was this one. I'm gonna be so honest, this took a lot of brain power for me. I need to get better at this or re-download Genshin on my phone because this and the other liar mechanics are super awkward on the controller. I love rhythm games, I was a pro at Tap Tap Revolution, and I also very much love Superstar JYP, and of course the Queen, Project Diva. I've actively avoided a certain other Miku game because I can't afford another gacha game, but it's really awkward on controller, so I have to either figure out the keyboard mechanics or hope for the best because there's achievements for this too. Unfortunate. After struggling for an embarrassing amount of time, I sort of got it, so let's see if Venti rewards my efforts. I guess not. Okay, we have 11 wishes left, and I don't think we had any pity because I left it alone after pulling for Farina, so hopefully this doesn't go into hard pity territory because I don't have enough wishes or primo gems for that. Remove a team member from the party, it's like telling the game you have room for them. Well, since Moika is the newest Archon released, it would make sense to remove her to make room for the first Archon released, right? I'm gonna combine this with another one, which is to wish in front of Catherine. There was also one that said to give everyone drinks, but I only have one drink, so I'll just feed everyone apples again. Oh, no, Farina, that's cursed. Please don't clip into the wall. Okay, final 10 pull. Okay, well, we still have a single pull, and we can get some pulls from Star Glitter. Let's just hope we win the 50-50. This ritual is to go wish where we ended the Mondstadt Archon quest with him. Unfortunately, I don't have a 10 pull, so I'll just do whatever wishes I have left with the Star Glitter here. There's 3 wishes with the Star Glitter, and after that, well, I guess we'll see. First of the 3, nothing. Second pull. Hey, you know what? It's a bow, which totally means Venti's coming home. And the final pull. We're just short of another pull, and I really don't want to put any more money in. We still have the dailies though, so let's go do that and see where we end up with Remo gems.
Add Astro. Thank you for completing.
Still short, but his trial will put us over 160, so let's go do that. Okay, I ran his trial, so now we're just gonna go for the old reliable. Zhongli, his fellow original Archon, sitting in the hands of his statue. Now, we hope for the best.
Oh, that was a refreshing sleep. Ah, Traveler, we meet again. What? You don't remember me? Well, allow me to join you on your quest once again. I must see to it that the bards of the world tell the traveler's tales.
We've finally done it. Now we can try to pull for his weapon, but then save up for future reruns and for the Saritsa.
But Ren, Raiden Shogun is getting a...
Huh. Must have been the wind. With Venti home, I did a concerning amount of farming around Mondstadt, which I'll put in a future video, mostly because I can't even finish it right now without a portable waypoint. I got to 100% exploration in a few areas, but when I went to continue in the Gorge, I was reminded I need Cryo to complete the 3 Seals quest. Fabulous. Instead, we focus on the other 2 missions for this video, getting the teapot and getting to Inazuma, both of which require completing the Liyue Archon quest. I did most of the Archon quest prior to getting Venti.
Hey girlie, hold still.
But obviously I needed him for Act 3 like I mentioned earlier. No, I didn't edit this. I don't know what you mean. If you've watched this channel before, you know exactly how these Archon quests go, so we're just gonna skip through this and show the fights. Unfortunately, through Act 1, I quickly hit AR-25, which meant I had to go farm for the Archons I can, sorry Raiden, and then take on the Ascension domain. Spoiler alert, we do this 2 more times in this video. Genuinely, one of the negatives of doing a challenge with more than one character is having to run all their bosses. I know, first world problems. Luckily, once I get to AR-35, I don't actually need to ascend the world until it's time for Fontaine, but I can level all the characters to 70. So I'll just get everyone leveled along with their weapons and talents, and then level up the world. So while we farm for the bosses and then do the Ascension domain, I did say this would be more of a yapping series, so what's the topic for today's video? Well, Genshin challenges. I think one of my favorite things about Genshin challenges is how unhinged they've started to become. Obviously, you want to be original, but there's a finite amount of challenges you can do in any game, especially if you constrain it to semi-short-term challenges you can make videos out of. The other day I opened up YouTube, and the first thing I saw recommended was picking every mint into VAT. That is an unhinged challenge. I love it. I think that's also why I don't consider it too big of a deal when 2 or more channels have the same challenges. I mean, a prime example I think of is Killer Kokomi and Misdefeat's Dia only runs. They both had insanely different experiences, even using the same one character. All that to say that since everyone's playstyle and even editing style is different, I love when people do solo runs with the same characters, because you can really see how vastly different a character can be played. Obviously, you can see in my first Arlecchino only video that I was still very new. I had a lot of similarities in my editing to creators I enjoyed watching, and most people clocked that in the comments. Which is fine, because I literally opened the video saying that I was inspired by those creators to start my channel. But since then, at least I think anyways, I've definitely carved my own little style of, well, mostly yapping, but you can see the difference in my content, at least I hope. I've also gotten a better mic, and I stopped whispering. Sorry to anyone who hoped I would become an ASMR channel. Maybe one day, probably not, but
never say never.
You know, plus my goal is different with my challenges. I'm striving to learn how to use these characters, which unfortunately also comes off as me not knowing what I'm doing most of the time. While most gaming creators hate backseat gaming, I welcome explanations and suggestions because I know someone who mains a character is going to know a lot more about their playstyle than I do. Plus, if I don't like a comment, I just ignore it. Unless it's especially nasty or a creative insult, sometimes I screenshot it to laugh about with my friends. You don't survive along a content creation if you don't have thick skin. It's funny though, because I'm incredibly sensitive and I expected to crash out if I got hate comments, but I think the kind comments that obviously far outnumber any sort of negativity makes a huge difference in my brain. Whenever I post a new video or a community post, I lay in my bed reading the comments, kicking my feet, smiling ear to ear, I swear. Obviously though, the thick skin depends. Some days I am just sensitive, but I'm learning to just put my phone down and ignore the internet on days like that. It usually only comes when I'm starting to get burnt out, but I'm doing my best to forcibly give myself one day off a week to ignore anything related to the internet. Touch grass, you know? Oh. Actually, circling back to Project Diva and Miku for a second, I have a story I've been wanting to share. That does also involve going outside. So, I'm an avid lover of Vocaloid, and my 2 favorites are Kaito and of course everyone's icon, Hatsune Miku. As a lover of the 2 of them, I am also a fan of their duo songs. One of those songs is Cantarella. Where am I getting at with this? Well, not that long ago, I was at Barnes & Noble, and as one does, I was locked in at the manga section. I don't even remember what I was looking for, but I stumbled upon this one-off manga for Cantarella. And of course, without even a second thought, I grabbed it to buy. Did I read the back? No. I just knew it was another manga based on a Miku song that I loved. I also don't speak Japanese, so I didn't really know what Cantarella was about beyond it being royal themed, which means I definitely didn't know the story of the song includes them being siblings. So obviously when you buy something in person, you have to bring it to the checkout, and so I did. And when the woman at checkout goes, "Oh, I didn't know there were Hatsune Miku mangas," I excitedly respond, "Yeah, a few of the popular songs get manga adaptations." The cashier reads the back and silently moves on to the other manga I had, and pretty much says nothing else to me. What did she see that I hadn't? Well, let me read it to you. Caesar, the eldest of the notorious Borgia household in 15th century Italy, learns he has a sister he's never met, Lucrezia. I'm butchering these names, I'm sorry. He is also given a poison called Cantarella, which has been handed down in the family for generations. The story unfolds after Caesare, here played by Kaito, meets Lucrezia, Hatsune Miku, for the first time. It's a brother-sister story, and I was so excited to talk about it. So needless to say, I was very embarrassed, and I will probably never go back to that Barnes & Noble. Skipping through literally everything, we now find ourselves back to current events with Venti. So now it's time to start Act 3.
I believe that you've heard of the Archon War.
Unfortunately, before the final battles, we hit AR 30, meaning the world level automatically rises, and we need to go farm every boss. Again. Alright, cue the circus music. After a lot of grinding bosses and the ley lines for level up materials before realizing I can buy it from the Stardust store, we're at a pretty decent position with everyone's levels, and I feel a little better about the boss fight with Child, the defensive Liyue fight, and the cargo mission in Inazuma to leave Rito. Back to the Archon quest we go. Wait, I can climb mountains with Moika's bike, and I spent all that time struggling? Okay, now I understand the comments that were raging about me not using Moika for exploration. My bad.
It's time to sing whenever you're ready.
You'd solve your problems if you just could finally
Okay, so listen to this. Something I recently found out is content creators might need visas when entering countries in specific circumstances. I found this out at like 10 p.m. on a Sunday, so obviously any consulates are closed, and I spent like 3 hours stress Googling what visa I might need, when it would apply, how to apply, things like that for my trip to Korea in the fall. The next day, I called my area's Korean consulate to ask, and luckily, since my stay is under 90 days, and so long as I'm not paid by a Korean company, I'm good and I fall under a visa-free tourist stay. But now, I know I have to be a little more careful when traveling abroad because usually they ask you what you do for a living on arrival paperwork, and my primary income source is content creation. I don't necessarily make a living off of it yet, but that's what savings are for. Also, when learning Korean, I always heard people say that talking on the phone is a battle in and of itself, and I definitely learned that for this call. I selected English, but when the woman picked up the phone, she answered in Korean, and my brain instantly malfunctioned. You would expect me to ask in Korean if she speaks English. Did I? No. Instead, I go, "Hi," pause, "I have a visa question." Another pause. I think she realized I was testing the waters and she responded in English at that point. I was mortified. But the good news is I don't need a visa, so I'm glad. Well, unless any Korean companies are watching and want to do a sponsorship. Moving right along, apparently a team of 6 Archons isn't enough to put Child down because now he needs to summon another god. Unfortunately for him, we have 2 of the original Archons who fought in the Archon War. Well, only one is on the team, but it's fine because technically the whole point of this battle is Zhongli not intervening. Despite that, I was definitely struggling. I think I'm so used to solo challenges that I've begun to lose the muscle memory of having a team, so I'm trying to both remind myself how and when to rotate team members, and also remembering the proper order to use characters. Plus, nobody's weapons or talents are at the correct level, but I'm gonna work on that after I get everyone properly leveled. Oh, exciting update. I'm thinking my Discord server will be ready to open soon. I'm kind of trying to get past the jitters of it, and also getting myself ahead on channel stuff so I can have the spare time to dedicate to keeping an eye out on the server, working out any hiccups, etc. I'm a little nervous with the possibility of things going wrong, but I also know since it's going to be pretty small at first, it will be a good chance to work out any of the early issues. I'll probably look for a way for any members to submit feedback, and eventually maybe open up moderator applications, but that's down the line. Here are some of the emote previews. In other exciting news, I've started working on merch. It's probably going to be a few things to start out. Art with merch rights is understandably expensive. I got a lot of requests for a plushie, and while I love the idea and love even more that you guys want it, so far I've only found one company that does campaign style plushies, so I'll see if they're willing to work together. Circling back to non-plushie merch, I am a huge fan of subtle merch, and will probably focus on a mix of subtle merch and, well, not subtle merch, I guess. I own a bunch of shirts from Uniqlo that are like anime or other specialty collabs, and the front is super subtle, but the back has a proper design. And the back is easy to cover with layers, or honestly, it can just be out because what people behind me see is between them and their god. I don't need to know because I don't need to face them. I know a lot of times merch tends to walk a thin line between cute and cringe, especially for content creators, so I want to have a few options. That said, at the end of the day, there's 2 primary reasons for me releasing merch at all. The first one is, well, myself, as well as a few friends who know about my YouTube, all want merch, which yes, is cringe, but having stuff I designed myself and art I commissioned in physical form would be so cute and feel really rewarding. Additionally, I want to give anyone who would want to buy merch the ability to. I don't want people to feel obligated in the same way I don't want people to feel obligated to become channel members. People commenting, interacting with my content, all of that makes me happier than I can say. Speaking of you guys, do y'all really want to be called wrenches? I mean, I don't mind, and it would be hilarious having my Oshi marks, which is a VTuber term for emotes representing them that fans can use to identify themselves, being a flower or a fox, and then a literal wrench. I saw a few people suggest Renlins, which I thought was adorable, but wrenches is amazing too, so if that's what everyone wants, that is a-okay with me. It feels perfectly chaotic, to be honest. With the Liyue Archon quest done, we are now able to begin the Teapot quest. Just like with Arlecchino, this quest is literally just following Yanfei around the harbor and a lot of dialogue, so I'm skipping it. Sorry, Yanfei. Wait, why isn't it working? Anyways, and with that, we finally have our teapot. Our second goal of this video is now done. Unfortunately, I need 300 of the adeptal currency to buy one of the planting plots, which is what I need to begin the very long time-gated achievement. I guess it's a start at least. I think my eventual plan for the teapots is to have all of the Archons in the teapots, and maybe have either an entire plane or just an island or something like that dedicated to each one. I've never been one to super decorate my teapots or anything like that. I kind of just throw things in at random to maximize the energy. Also, I will be putting non-Archons in the teapot at some point after I hit Friendship 10 with the Archons. The reason is there is an achievement that requires hitting Friendship 10 with 20 characters. I figure putting characters in the teapot hurts nothing and can still help the achievement. A win-win. Up next is our final mission, getting to Inazuma. We absolutely will not be finishing Inazuma Archon quest right now, or anytime soon for that matter, but I need to at least complete Rito so I can have access to the entire entirety of Inazuma and go to Sarai Island for Raiden's materials. I think the most unfortunate thing about Raiden is to get to her boss and her materials, you need to do the Sarai Storm Chasers quest. At least it's not as long as, like, the desert quests. But man. First, of course, we have the Dainsleif quests. And oh my, it felt so satisfying to beat up the Abyss Herald easily.
There's nothing special about gods anyway. It's just my opinion, but a word of advice. Always be on your guard when around gods.
Well, I fear that ship has sailed. Speaking of ships, we complete the Dane quests and begin the Inazuma prologue, meaning we have to go board the Alcor. Before leaving the area, I gotta go get the chest. Could I use Venti's wind currents? Sure, but he's perfectly good at climbing too. Well, anyways, we finished the Inazuma prologue, and after our very long-winded Rito quest, it's time for the transport balloon mission. With this, we'll finally be free to head to Sarai Island. Don't worry, Raiden, it's almost time for you to rejoin the team. Ooh, it's the fruit. I thought I had to go all the way to the center of the island. Nice. And finally, Raiden gets her first ascension. It only took 6 months. Honestly, I don't remember if there's a specific way to do this, and admittedly, I don't care. I just spun it until it worked. It probably would have taken me longer to pull up the instructions for each one. You know, I don't know why I struggled with this boss so much when it first came out. Actually, my main DPS was Child and Kuching, so that's probably why. Speaking of bosses, just in time to level up Raiden, we hit AR 35, meaning I have to ascend everyone again. Yay. So unless you live under a rock, Genshin recently had its 5.6 livestream and released the patch trailer. First of all, I am thrilled. I am about to lock in like I've never locked in before. I'm thinking I might record on my main account grinding out the Natlan quests and make it a members only video, because I did promise that would be an occasional thing, and I haven't done it yet. I have firmly been an Albedo defender for as long as I've known he's existed, which is to say, I don't remember how long it's been because I missed the first event he was in, but I was already an Albedo enjoyer by the time his second event was released. He has remained on my main team for a long while now, and does he fit on the team? No, not even in the slightest. But honestly, nobody on my team entirely makes sense. It's just characters I like playing with the most. If anything, the one thing I'm dreading is the fact I play in English, and I'll probably just have to change the language because I know the Mondstadt Archon quest will get spoiled online, and this is probably the first time in a while I under no circumstances want to see spoilers. I was partially waiting it out with Natlan to see if the missing character voices get added, but I don't want to wait that long for Mondstadt. At least it give me a chance to brush up on my Korean. Also in the 5.6 livestream was the reveal of the Inazuma Chronicled Wish, and oh man, I'm about to spend a lot of time logging into all of my accounts. I went through almost all 160 accounts trying to get Veressa on a solo account, but since I pulled on the accounts during the Liyue Chronicled Wish, at least there's pity on that banner as well, because I'll be working exclusively with the like 600 Primo Gems we get during new patches. It would be nice if the Chronicled Wish is first half, because then I only have to log into the accounts once, but I also have a bunch of stuff to work on in the first half of the patch with editing videos, so I'd prefer not having to spend 2 full days logging into my accounts. I guess it's a lose-lose. I really want to do a Kokomi only run. I know Killer Kokomi said he wants to do one, and of course he still should, and he has the same mindset of me that it's perfectly okay if creators do the same challenges since the challenges vary so much. Hopefully he's able to get Kokomi on a solo account, and when he's feeling up to returning to content creation, he'll be able to do a run too. Who knows, depending on how my luck goes, maybe he'll finish his run before I can even start it. That said, I asked in my community tab who people want to see me do a solo run with, and a pretty large majority said Chiori, with Kazuha and Kokomi tied for second place, though it was pretty even with the exception of Chiori's lead, so I'll be trying my best. Luckily, with it being entirely limited 5 stars, losing the 50-50 would still potentially get me progress in solo accounts, as long as I don't have another Zhao situation where I get him on multiple accounts. I think regardless, the Inazuma character only runs will be, well, rough, because their materials are locked to their nation. And don't even get me started on Kokomi and Yamiko's bosses, or Ito and those beetles. Speaking of plans, I think my current plan is now that I've hit AR 35, I'm going to ascend everyone to level 70 and then not increase the world level. I know the drops aren't great unless I ascend the world level, but I'll prioritize higher AR when I need to farm artifacts. Oh god, I talked to Maya, so it's gonna trigger the TCG scene, isn't it? Okay, I know I have to complete TCG stuff eventually, and I saw some comments saying it'll take a while. I just have no intention of doing that now. My plan for the inevitable TCG video is if I complain, I pull. We'll see how much I spend there. I'm also going to try to do my best to get the majority of things done in the first 3 nations before I move on to Sumeru, since Sumeru, Fontaine, and Natlan have a ton of world quests and exploration alone, meaning exploration, world quests, story quests, things like that. I know most of the story quests require at least AR 40, so I'll obviously ascend my world and team before that. I can't believe this account is going to be the thing that gets me to finally log into Genshin daily. After going around one by one to collect the materials, and buying the rest from the Stardust store, it's again time to fight each boss. Unfortunately, everyone needs 8 drops, and we get either 1 or 2 from each fight, so it took a while. This time, I spared my condensed resin a little bit, emphasis on a bit, and did the farming over the course of 2 days. Mostly because I did everything from We Will Be Reunited onward in a single day. Another example of Ren can't play this game, I just realized I can use Moika's motorcycle to climb these in our boss fight, and it makes things so much easier. But you know what else makes it easier? Having Raiden. This team is crazy. Sorry Zhongli and Venti, you might be stuck in the reserves. Finally, after several months and an uncomfortable amount of money spent, we have all the currently released Archons and all at the same ascension, mostly. We don't have any level up materials, but that will come once I start doing more farming. Today is also Monday the 28th, because again, these videos are easy to record last second, which means I can finally get the teleport waypoint. However, as for testing if it works,
Here we go.
Huh?
thank you all so much for the support on the first episode. I'm still so blown away by how well that video did. Hopefully you guys continue to enjoy the series and let me know what you'd like to see. A special shout out to my channel members, and if you're new here, be sure to like and subscribe and hit the little bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time!